Welcome back to Small, Simple, Profitable. My name is Bob Goldman. The goal of this series is to equip you to start and run small businesses that are quickly profitable, simple to manage, and spiritually positive, whether you're doing business in your own country or in other countries. This episode is focused on startup tool number 3, the Business Exploration Framework. This framework will help you decide which aspects of your integrated lean canvas and profitability analysis spreadsheet you should investigate next. The Business Exploration Framework can be downloaded from the smallsimpleprofitable.com website under the episode notes. Let's review where this tool fits in the 4-step process for launching a new business. In Step 1, the Envision step, you can outline your business model by using the Integrated Lean Canvas tool. In Step 2, the Estimate step, you can calculate the profit potential of your business by using the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet. In Step 3, the Explore step, you can decide which aspects of your business you should investigate next by using the Business Exploration Framework. This is the tool we will look at in this episode. In Step 4, the Evaluate step, you can decide whether a particular business is a good idea and whether you want to commit to actually launching it by using the Business Evaluation Framework. The Business Exploration Framework will help you plan out the next steps of your business startup journey. The goal with this tool is to take a plausible business idea and transform it into a proven business model. To do this, start with the initial integrated lean canvas and initial profitability analysis spreadsheet, which you created in Steps 1 and 2 of this startup process. Next, explore the assumptions, unknowns, and risks in your business idea using the Business Exploration Framework. Then, use what you learned during these explorations to update both the integrated lean canvas and the profitability analysis spreadsheet. Finally, keep exploring and keep updating until you've developed a proven business model or you've decided your business idea won't work and can't be profitable. The purpose of the Business Exploration Framework is to help you systematically think through your business idea so you can transform it from a plausible business idea into a proven business model. There are 3 aspects of this Business Exploration Framework: product explorations, customer explorations, and profit explorations. The product explorations category consists of product development and product delivery. The customer explorations category consists of customer discovery and pricing exploration. The profit explorations category consists of cost estimates, revenue estimates, and profit and break-even implications. Before we can dig into each aspect of the Business Exploration Framework, we need to briefly discuss the idea that there are assumptions, unknowns, and risks associated with every new business idea. First, let's look at assumptions. Assumptions are areas of your business idea where you're just guessing, which is a good starting point but not good enough for launching a business. Your goal with assumptions is to test them until you can turn them into estimates or until you can confirm what you suspected. Now let's look at unknowns. Unknowns are areas of your business idea where you just don't have enough information. Your goal with unknowns is to research them until you're comfortable that you know enough. When you have business unknowns, you don't need perfect knowledge, just adequate knowledge. Finally, let's look at risks. Risks are areas of your business idea where problems could arise or disasters could hit. Your goal with risks is to examine them until you have reasonable plans for reducing those risks or at least preparing for them. As I'm sure you're aware, there are no guarantees when you're starting a new business. There will always be assumptions, unknowns, and risks. Sometimes customers won't behave as you predicted. Sometimes employees will require more training, ask for more pay, or be unwilling to change. Sometimes key employees will get sick or leave for a better job just when you need them most. Sometimes government authorities will change the laws or enforce them in ways that will interfere with your business and could even force it to close. Sometimes the completely unexpected will happen, such as a global pandemic. Whenever you're starting a new business, the only thing you can control is what you do to test, research, and prepare for those uncertainties. Explore your assumptions, your unknowns, and your risks until your assumptions become estimates or confirmations, your unknowns become knowns, and your risks become plans and preparations. As we explore each area of this business exploration framework, I will suggest some general topics to help you think through the specific assumptions, unknowns, and risks in your specific business idea. Let's look into each aspect of the business exploration framework, starting with the product explorations category. The broad question in this category is this: what solutions do you plan to develop and deliver to your customers? The two specific areas to explore in this category are product development and product delivery. First, let's look at the product development area. The more specific question in this area is this: what solutions do you plan to develop for your prospective customers? As you think through the products or services that you plan to develop as solutions to your customer problems, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Some assumptions to test include: how hard will it be to develop a minimum viable version of each product or service? How long will it take to develop each minimum viable product? What are the minimum features your customers really want and are willing to pay for? Think through the most important assumptions for your specific product development plans. You can test those assumptions by running some experiments to find out whether your assumptions are accurate. Your goal should be to test your biggest assumptions until you can turn them into reasonable estimates or you can confirm what you suspected. Next, let's look at the unknowns. Some unknowns to research include: how much will it cost to develop your products? How much will you need to pay your employees during the product development process? What are your competitors currently offering in this product space? Are there new competitors planning to enter this market that could threaten your position with customers? What government laws affect the kinds of products you're allowed to develop and how you have to develop them? Think through the unknowns that are most important to research for your specific product development plans. Your goal with the unknowns is to do just enough research until you're comfortable that you know enough. Next, let's look at risks. Some risks for you to consider include: what if the laws affecting your products change? How would you learn about it and prepare for those potential changes? What if customer preferences change? How would you learn about it and adapt the solutions you're planning to offer? What if a key employee gets sick or leaves for another job? How will you involve others early on so that you aren't too dependent on one key resource? What if a competitor steals your business idea and creates a cheaper or better alternative to your solution? Think through the biggest potential risks to your specific product development plans. Your goal with risks is to examine them until you have reasonable plans for reducing those risks or preparing for them. Once you've thought through the assumptions, unknowns, and risks in this area of product development, pick one or two of those areas to explore first. My advice is don't make this too complicated. Start with the biggest assumptions, the biggest unknowns, and the biggest risks, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Next, let's look at the product delivery area. The more specific question in this area is this: how do you plan to deliver your solutions to your customers? As you think through this plan for delivering your solutions, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Some assumptions to test include: will customers want to receive your products or services the way you're planning to deliver them? Could you deliver your products or services more simply so that it takes less effort? Some unknowns to research include: will it be easier or harder than you think to deliver your products or services to your customers? Is a particular technology or tool that you're depending on really as available and affordable to customers as you're hoping? Some risks to consider include: what happens if the laws affecting how you deliver your products or services change? What if a key vendor that you're depending on changes their prices or exits the business? What if new technology introduces better ways for customers to get the help they need? Once you've thought through the assumptions, unknowns, and risks in this area of product delivery, pick one or two of those areas to investigate first. Start with the biggest assumptions, the biggest unknowns, and the biggest risks, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Let's move on to the customer explorations category. The broad question in this category is this: can you find customers who want your solutions and will pay for them? The two specific areas to explore are customer discovery and pricing exploration. First, let's look at customer discovery. The more specific questions in this area are these: can you find customers who want your solutions? Can you persuade them to buy from you? As you think through your prospective customers and how you plan to persuade them to use your solutions, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Some assumptions to test include: does your proposed solution meet the customer's perceived needs? Will customers appreciate the key benefits you're planning to offer them? Which customer segments will be most interested in your products or services? Will your sales pitch work with customers? Will different customer segments respond better to different sales pitches? Some unknowns to research include: what other customer segments could you pursue? How could you get access to more customers? How could you get access to those who influence potential customer decisions? How could you exceed customer expectations and create positive word of mouth? Some risks to consider include: what if new technology changes what customers want or changes how they solve the problems you're trying to solve? What if new laws affect customer behavior? What if businesses that are already serving your potential customers add your proposed solutions to their offerings? How would you adjust your business model if customer needs start to change, making your products or services outdated? What if key customer influencers start to say bad things about your solutions? Think through the most important assumptions, unknowns, and risks in this area of customer discovery for your specific idea. Pick one or two of those areas to investigate first. Focus on the biggest assumptions, the biggest unknowns, and the biggest risks, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Next, let's look at pricing exploration. The more specific question in this area is this: how much will your customers be willing to pay for your solutions? As you think through your product pricing, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Some assumptions to test include: what do your customers feel is too expensive or too cheap? What do customers consider to be a good value for the price? Some unknowns to research include: what are your competitors charging for similar products and services? What are some potential wow factors, unexpected benefits, key differentiators, or bonus services that customers might really respond to? Are there any additional products or services that you could bundle with your core idea to make your price more attractive to customers? Some risks to consider include: what if your competitors change their prices? What if new technology offers cheaper alternatives to your solutions? What if new laws or new taxes increase the price you have to charge customers? Think through the most important assumptions, unknowns, and risks in your product pricing for your specific business idea. Pick one or two of those areas to investigate first. Focus on the biggest assumptions, biggest unknowns, and biggest risks in your product pricing, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Let's move on to the profit explorations category. The broad question in this category is this: can you manage your expenses well enough and generate enough income to make a consistent profit? The three specific areas to explore in this category are cost estimates, revenue estimates, and profit and break-even implications. First, let's look at your cost estimates. The more specific question in this area is this: what fixed and variable costs will be involved in developing your products, finding customers, serving them, and managing your business? As you think through your fixed and variable cost estimates, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Could you reduce some of your variable costs? Could you reduce some of your fixed costs in your first year? Are there any variable or fixed costs that you forgot to include in your initial cost estimates? Could you turn some of your fixed costs into variable costs that you only have to pay when you have actual sales? Could you negotiate a cheaper rate for some of your costs for the first year of your startup? Could you outsource some of your work to other businesses during the first year of your startup to reduce your initial expenses? What happens if inflation increases dramatically, affecting your costs? What if new laws change what you're required to pay your employees or what benefits you have to offer them? Think through the most important assumptions, unknowns, and risks in the cost estimates for your specific business idea. Pick one or two of those areas to investigate first. Focus on the biggest assumptions, biggest unknowns, and biggest risks in your cost estimates, and run some experiments or conduct some research or make some plans. Next, let's look at your revenue estimates. The more specific question in this area is this: what low, medium, and high sales volumes are you hoping to achieve? As you think through your revenue estimates, what assumptions do you need to test or confirm? What unknowns do you need to research? What risks do you need to plan for? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. Are your low, medium, and high sales projections realistic, or are you being overly optimistic? Is there any way you could test your sales projections? Could you sign up some early customers through down payments or advanced trials? Are you assuming customers will pay you after they receive their products or services or before? Delayed billing and delayed customer payments can really impact your revenue streams. If customers are expecting to pay you after the fact, could you arrange for at least 50% upfront before you start so that your revenues start arriving earlier? It doesn't hurt to ask. A few years ago, I advised a software entrepreneur in another country to start requesting 50% upfront because he had employee salaries he needed to pay. And the very next day, he signed up a new customer with a 50% upfront agreement. It doesn't hurt to ask. Think through the most important assumptions, unknowns, and risks in your revenue estimates for your idea, and pick one or two of those areas to investigate first. Focus on the biggest assumptions, the biggest unknowns, and the biggest risks, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Finally, let's look at the profit and break-even implications of your business model. The more specific questions in this area are these. What are your projected profits or losses at low, medium, and high sales volumes? What's your break-even sales volume? What assumptions, unknowns, or risks would have the biggest impact on these profitability projections? Here are a few ideas to get you thinking. What aspects of your profitability analysis spreadsheet are most sensitive to small changes in the cost numbers or the revenue numbers? Is there one change to your cost or revenue estimates that would have a big impact on whether you lose money or make a profit? What are the riskiest aspects of your profitability analysis spreadsheet? What if one or two of your estimates is wrong? What plans can you put in place to be extremely attentive to small changes in those riskiest aspects of your profitability analysis? What key numbers or key metrics should you be monitoring so that you detect small problems before they become major problems that lead to major financial losses? Think through the most important assumptions, unknowns, and risks in the profit and break-even calculations for your specific business idea. Focus on the biggest assumptions, the biggest unknowns, and the biggest risks, and run some experiments, conduct some research, and make some plans. Let's review what we discussed in this episode. The purpose of the Business Exploration Framework is to help you systematically think through your business idea so you can transform it from a plausible business idea into a proven business model. You can use this exploration framework to make as many revisions as needed to your integrated lean canvas and your profitability analysis spreadsheet. Keep making revisions until you become confident that you really do have a proven business model. Now, when you do have a proven business model, some will say that you should go ahead and launch your business. However, I suggest that you wait and complete the final step in this startup process, which is the decision-making step. My hope is that you will become a good enough entrepreneur that you could transform several plausible ideas into proven business models. When you have several viable business ideas to choose from, then you really need step 4, the evaluation step, to help you decide which business is the best one for you to launch. I hope this episode has helped you think through how to explore the assumptions, unknowns, and risks associated with every business idea. Exploring those assumptions, unknowns, and risks, and updating your business model based on what you learn is how you transform a plausible business idea into a proven business model. The next episode will help you decide which business idea is the right idea for you to launch. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.